Hello guys, welcome back to another video. This is gonna be a very emotional video for me. I am going to be reading for 10 minutes per day to help me learn English better. Because originally, since I am Spanish, it's take time for me to properly learn because other words I don't understand too much. But I'm gonna be reading for 10 minutes per day, and we're gonna see what happened. Okay, so I'm just gonna start with book Goosebumps, Stay Out of the Basement, by R.L. Stein. Okay. Hey Dad, catch. Casey tossed the frisbee across the sewers. Green lawn. Casey's dad made a face, squinting into the sun. The frisbee hit the ground and skipped a few times before landing under a hedge in the back of the yard. Not today, I'm busy, Dr. Brewer said, abruptly turned around and locked him into the house. The screen door slammed behind him. Casey brushed his straight blonde hair back off his forehead. What's his problem? He called to Margaret, his sister, who had watched the whole scene from his yard, the redwood garage. You know, Margaret said, quietly. She wiped her hands on her legs of her jeans and held them both up, inviting a toss. I'll play frisbee with you for a little while, she said. Okay, Casey said without enthusiasm. He walked away slowly over to retrieve the frisbee from under the hedge. Margaret moved closer. She felt sorry for Casey. He and their dad were really close, always playing ball or frisbee or video games together. But Dr. Brewer didn't seem to have time for that anymore. Jumping up to catch the frisbee, Margaret realized she felt sorry for herself too. Dad hadn't been the same to her either. In fact, he spent so much time down in the basement, he barely said a word together. He doesn't even call me Princess anymore. Margaret thought it was her nickname. She hated it, but at least it was a nickname, a sign of closeness. She tossed the red frisbee back. A bad toss, Casey chased after it, but it sailed away from him. Margaret looked up into the golden hills beyond the backyard. California, she thought. It's weird out here. Here's the middle of winter and there isn't a cloud in the sky. And Casey and I are out in jeans and t-shirts as if it was the middle of summer. She made a diving catch for a wild toss, rolling over the manicured lawn and raising the frisbee over her head. Triumphantly. Show off. Casey muttered, unimpressed. You're the hot dog in the family, Margaret called. Well, you're a dog. Hey, Casey, you want me to play with you or not? He shrugged. Everyone was so edgy these days. Margaret realized it was easy to figure out why. She made a high toss. The frisbee sailed over Casey's head. You chase it, he cried angrily, putting his hands on his hips. No, you, she cried. You! Casey, you are 11 years old. Don't act like a 2-year-old, she snapped. Well, you act like a 1-year-old, was his reply as he grudgingly, went after his frisbee. It was all Dad's fault. Margaret realized things had been so tense since he started working at home. Down in the basement with his pants and weird machines, he hardly ever come up for air. And when he did, he wouldn't even catch a frisbee or spend 2 minutes with either of them. Mum had noticed it too. Margaret thought running full out and making another grandson catch just before colliding with the side of the garage. Having dad home has made Mum really tense. She pretends everything is fine, but I can tell she's worried about him. Lucky catch, Fatso, Casey called. Margaret hated the name Fatso even more than she hated Princess. People in her family jokingly called her Fatso because she was so thin, like her father. She was also tall like him, but she had her mother's straight brown hair, brown eyes, and dark coloring. Don't call me that. She heaved the red disc at him. He caught it at his knees and flipped it back to her. They tossed it back and forth without saying much for another 10 or 15 minutes. I'm getting hot, Margaret said, shielding her eyes from the afternoon sun with her hand. Let's go in. Casey tossed the frisbee against the garage wall. Okay, guys, so basically this story is a very sad story about just life. And this is hurtful how, people got to put up and deal with this type of stuff. And it's honestly reminds me of a good old mate, Max, I have. And he's really struggled with this type of stuff, unfortunately. He's a really good bloke. Horrible acne, poor fella. But he's getting better, and God bless him. Okay, so sorry, where was I? Casey tossed the frisbee. Oh, never mind, sorry. Okay. I'm gonna repeat this one. They tossed it back and forth without saying much for another 10-15 minutes. I'm getting hot, Margaret said, shielding her eyes from the afternoon sun with her hand. Let's go in. Casey tossed the frisbee against the garage wall. It dropped into the glass. He came trotting over to her. Dad always plays longer, he said peevishly. And he throws better. You throw like a girl. Give me a break, Margaret groaned, giving him back a playful shove as she jogged to the back door. You throw like a chimpanzee. How come Dad got fired, he asked. She blinked and stopped running. The question had caught him by surprise. Huh? His pale freckled face turned seriously. Seriously, what the why? He asked, obviously uncomfortable. She and Casey had never discussed this in the 4 weeks Dad had been home, which was unusual. They were pretty close, being only a year apart. We all come all the way out so you could hear at the Polytech, right? Casey asked. Yeah, well, he got fired, Margaret said, half whispering in case their dad might be able to hear. But why? Did he blow up the lab or something? Casey grinned. The idea of their dad blowing up a huge campus science lab appealed to them. No, he didn't blow anything up, Margaret said, tugging at the stand of the dark hair. Botanists work hard with their plants. They don't get much of a chance to blow things up. They both laughed. Casey followed her into the narrow strip of the shade cast by the low ranch-style house. I'm not sure exactly what happened, Margaret continued, still half whispering, but I overheard Dad on the phone. I think he was talking to Miss Martinez, his department head. Remember the quiet little man who came to the girl at the dinner the night with the barbecue with the grill fire? Casey nodded. Martinez fired Dad? Probably, Margaret whispered. From what? I overheard it. It had something to do with that plant Dad was growing. Some experience had gone wrong or something. So guys, that is my alarm there. We're going to stop there. We are on page 6, and this book has let's see how many pages this book has. 122. Okay, so remember we're on page 6. Thank you for that video, guys. That was an absolute awesome video. If you have any other good recommendations for anything, please let me know. I'm just trying to learn to speak better because I get really ahead of myself, and I get really stressed out about this stuff, communicating with people, because I don't live a very social life. I haven't really spoken to anyone for, I'd say, about maybe 5 months. I don't talk to anyone. I don't have family. I just know I've got a mate called Max, but I don't see him. Matter of fact, I don't even think he's real. But thanks a lot, guys, for watching, and appreciate you guys for being on me with this journey, and hopefully by the end of it, reading every single day, I'll get better. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day.